The Jenny McCarthy Show on Sirius XM Stars.
Noah St. John is back by popular demand. The book is called The Book of Afformations, Discovering the Missing Piece to Abundant Health, Wealth, Love, and Happiness. Listen, the 4 simple steps to reach your goals faster than you ever thought was possible. How an unhappy employee went from penniless to a 6-figure income in less than 6 months using this method. The 5-word phrase that will attract your desires to you while you're not even paying attention. The 10 words that will help you lose 10 pounds and actually keep it off. How to quit smoking and overcome depression without drugs or therapy. How to think like a millionaire in less than 5 minutes a day. Noah St. John, welcome back.
Hey, Jenny, great to be back with you.
Thank you. I almost sounded like that lady, the one that talks about your finances. What is her name again? You know what I'm talking about?
Susie Orman.
Oh, Susie Orman?
Yes. Okay, so Noah, last time you were on the show, we talked about the difference between Afformations and Affirmations. Can you refresh our memory for the audience?
If you've ever read a self-help book, you know that an affirmation is a statement of something you like to be true. So, like, I am happy, I am wealthy, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. Right? And we've heard that a million billion times. For some people, they work great. For millions of people, they didn't work at all. What I did was, back in 1997, I invented something called Afformation, which is empowering questions. I like to do this at my live events. I have everybody stand up and say, okay, guys, we're going to say an affirmation. Ready? I am rich. Everybody goes, I am rich. And you know what happens next? Everybody starts laughing. I go, what are you laughing at? You go, well, I'm not rich. I go, but you just said you were. Yeah, but I don't believe it. That's the problem. As I share in the book, back in 1997, I was in the shower, and I thinking about all this, and I said, what if we just had a better way? The human mind works using questions, not statements. So what if we just cut out the middleman and go right to the question? So an affirmation is an empowering question that immediately changes your subconscious thought patterns and literally starts to change your life.
Amen. And can I tell you, I started doing it after our last time, and it made such a huge difference. I just started asking myself, like, what am I good at? What do I love to do? And it brought forth ideas that help bring abundance.
I love it. I love it. That's great, Jenny. Well, I'm excited. And that's what's so exciting about Afformations. And now you're part of the Afformations revolution, and so are all of your listeners. We call it the Afformations revolution. We've got people in over 120 countries. People have made literally millions of dollars, but not just money. People have found love. They have, quit smoking. Kids are getting better grades, self-esteem. We've got people who, kids who were going to drop out of school, and now they're getting scholarships. So it's absolutely amazing what Afformations can do, and I just love that you're experiencing it too.
What kind of questions should kids ask themselves?
I'll give you a great example that's right from the book. We had a mom actually called me one time, and she had been at one of my seminars, and she said, Noah, I want you to know that you changed our life. And I said, well, great. How did I do that? She said, well, I have a daughter. Her name's Stephanie, and she wasn't getting any sleep. She's a straight A student, but she was a worried wart. She was worrying all the time. She couldn't sleep. We were trying all these different things, and we were even considering going to therapy, and we just were at our wits' end. She just couldn't sleep. She had to sleep in our bed. It was just really rough on everybody. So I heard you talk about Afformations at your seminar, and she said, I immediately went home and I taught it to Stephanie. She was only 13 at the time, and immediately she started asking better questions like, why am I safe? Why am I enough? Why am I safe in God's love? And she started to affirm and literally change her thought patterns. That very night, Jenny, she slept like a baby. She never lost another night's sleep. And not only that, her mom, Mary, that is her mom name, and she said that she has better self-esteem. Her grades got even better, but she stopped worrying so much, and now she went on to be very, very successful in life.
I love that. Why am I safe? That is brilliant.
Yeah. It's so simple. That's what's so powerful about it. It's so simple, but yet it's so incredibly powerful because it's using what you're already doing. When I say you, I mean all human beings. We're already asking questions, but the problem is most people are asking lousy questions. Like, why am I so stupid? Why am I so fat? Why can't I lose weight? Why isn't my business not growing? Why can't I get a date on Friday night? And when you ask lousy questions, what do you get? You get lousy answers, right?
That's right.
And
That's right.
Creates a lousy life. Now, nobody's doing this on purpose, of course. Somebody gets up in the morning and says, hey, I think I'll hold myself back from success today by asking lousy questions. Of course not. Nobody's doing it. That's not conscious. It's an unconscious habit. And this is one of the reasons that, I teach what's called power habits, the power habits of unconsciously successful people, and Afformations is one of the foundational power habits.
I love it. And then how often do people stop living their life fully because of past mistakes?
So the point is, what we do is we keep beating ourselves for past mistakes. And of course, I'm speaking from personal experience, but almost everybody that I work with, my coaching clients, and we all do that. We beat ourselves up, we make a mistake, and then, of course, the problem isn't just the mistake. The problem is that we just keep reliving it over and over and over again and telling ourselves how stupid we are. And so it's not just the initial mistake, it's the compounding of it by reliving it. And that's why I came up with this, what I call the ADD method to forgive yourself.
And can you explain that more for our listeners so they can get hooked into getting the book?
So the ADD method basically is not the ADD you're used to listening to or hearing about, but it's a new ADD method. So the A stands for admit the mistakes that you made. And more specifically, admit the mistakes that you need to forgive yourself for and how much they cost you in time, energy, and money, and maybe even relationships. A lot of times we make mistakes. I'll give you a perfect example from my own experience. You know, a couple of years ago, my business was going really good, and I said, hey, you know what? It's going good. Let's see if we can even ramp it up and make it better. So I started hiring people, and I just started hiring people willy-nilly. I didn't do my homework because I'm such a trusting guy. I'm like a very naive person because I just believe people.
Right.
And so, you know, I said, hey, I did this and I did that. And I go, oh, okay. And I didn't do my homework. It was really stupid.
Sounds like me.
So they cost me a lot of money. I mean, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. These were terrible hires that I never should have done. And so the mistake that I made, number one, was hiring those people. But the bigger mistake was not doing my homework. So that's the A, is just admit the mistakes and how much they cost you. For me, it was a hell of a lot of money. So that's the A. The D is to determine the faulty thinking that caused the mistake. So a mistake is usually caused by faulty thinking. Not always, but oftentimes. So for me, the faulty thinking was just believing people when they said something. That was really stupid. I was like, why would you do that? Well, I don't know. And so I was like, well, gee, Noah, maybe next time you might want to do something different. So that's the faulty thinking, was just trusting people at their word. I hate to say it that way. I mean, it sounds bad to say that, but that's what happened. Yeah, so you've got to admit the mistakes, determine the faulty thinking, and then the second D is to decide what are you going to do differently in the future to ensure you don't repeat those past mistakes. There's an old saying, which I'm sure you've heard, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me.
Yep.
And so the point is, if you keep doing the same mistake, well, it's shame on you. And so I realized that deciding what I'm going to do differently is I'm going to do my homework. I mean, I'm going to research. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to say, do my due diligence, just what I should have done in the first place. And what's nice is that I haven't made any bad hires since that time several years ago, and now our business has tripled in the last year. So it's nice when you can do things like that. So that's the ADD method. And again, I like to share that, Jenny, because I want your listeners to realize that we all make mistakes, but stop beating yourself up, because that's just going to compound it and it's not going to fix anything.
Amen. I'm talking to Noah St. John. The book is called The Book of Afformations, Discovering the Missing Piece to Abundant Health, Wealth, Love, and Happiness. Why do we have such a hard time accepting compliments from people?
That's one of the reasons, or one of the manifestations of what I call head trash. In the book of Afformations, I talk about your head trash. Now, your head trash is that guy in your head that says, I'm not enough, right? If there's a default human belief, that default human belief is, I'm not enough. And so when someone comes up to you or writes to you or whatever and gives you a compliment, what's happening is it is coming in direct confrontation with your head trash, which I also call your negative self-reflection or your negative reflection. Exactly. See, most of us grew up. Have you ever been in a fun house? You know, where you have fun house mirrors? That's how most of us grew up, with looking into a fun house mirror as a reflection of who we are. So we got a reflection of, like, for example, why can't you be more like your sister? Or why can't you be more like John down the street? Or whatever it is. And so the basic thing that comes to us is, I'm not enough. And so we grow up with this belief that says, I'm not enough. And so when someone gives you a compliment, hey, you look really nice today. Oh, you mean this whole thing? Oh, man, my hair was a mess. And, I didn't even shave today.
And you think you're being humble, like you say in the book. You actually think you're being humble.
That's right. Exactly. And so one of the things I like to teach my clients, I'm really glad you brought this up, Jenny, because this is one thing that we talk about a lot, is how to accept a compliment. I'll share with you my two-step method to accept a compliment. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first step is say thank you. First step. Step one, say thank you. Step two, shut up. That's the two-step method. Say thank you and shut up. And you know what? It's so funny, because I had to practice this myself years ago when I started teaching this, because I've been doing this since 1997. I mean, I started in 1997 in my college dorm room with $800 and a book on how to do HTML. I mean, this is how long I've been in business. And so my point is, I'm like, gee, I've got to learn how to do this better than I, yes. And so I said, and people give me a compliment. No, you changed my life. Your book changed my life. You just did. You just gave me a compliment. And did you notice that I didn't deflect it? I said, thank you. That's great. And that's awesome.
Yes. So, and it does make a difference. And I urge people to even test it out. I decided, because I was one of those people that always self-deprecate. It's how I made my career, was like self-deprecating. And finally I decided to change that. So when people go, oh, you look pretty, I literally reply with, don't I? And they laugh and I laugh. And I'm like, it is so much better than going like, oh, no, I don't. But just saying, don't I, makes all of us giggle.
It made me giggle. And the other way to think about it for yourself and for everybody listening is think of it like a gift. People are giving you a gift when they give you a compliment. I mean, now when it's sincere, of course, when it's fake, we can all see that. When it's just sort of somebody buttering you up and so forth, we all know what that is. If it's a sincere compliment, hey, you look great today, that's really nice. Or you did a great job on that presentation, or blah, 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 whatever it is. And they're being sincere, you treat it like a gift. Now, if somebody gave you a gift, let's say it's your birthday or a wedding or some kind of event, and somebody gave you a gift and you go, well, that sucks, and you just throw it away. Wow, that's pretty mean. That wouldn't be very nice to take a gift and do that. You wouldn't do that, would you? Of course not. And so that's what a compliment is. It's a gift, so treat it as a gift. And I love what you just said, too.
Thank you. Noah St. John, the book is called The Book of Afformations. I want to briefly get into about work because so many people listen to our show driving to work. So many people, I'm sure, not in the best job that they could be in, that they want more. What are those questions? If you hate your job, you say it's time to ask yourself some tough questions. What are some of the ones that people should be asking themselves?
In the book of Afformations, I give you literally over 400 Afformations in all different areas of life. So first of all, I teach you how to do it. I give you the Afformations method, and then I give you Afformations in all different areas like health and well-being, money and abundance, building self-confidence, work and career, love and intimacy, and so on. So in the section on work and career, that's what we talk about. So exactly what is it you want to be doing? Here's the deal. Money comes from one thing, and that is value. Money comes from the value that you're giving to other people, to the world. Before I started doing this for the last 2 decades, I had to work a bunch of survival jobs just to live, to eat. And I hated every one of them. I hated all of them because I was just surviving. And I said, is this all I'm on this planet for? And at the age of 25, I was suicidal. I decided to commit suicide because I was like, this sucks. And I can't take this anymore. And why am I even here? I share that story in the book. The point is that obviously I'm still here. And it was a miracle at the very last moment that I decided not to take my life. And so I dedicated the rest of my life to serving humanity, serving God, serving everybody. It took me 5 years from the time that I decided not to commit suicide to when I discovered what I was here on earth to do. I started asking questions like, what am I here to do? What do I love doing? And how can I provide value to people doing what I love? So, like for me, I love speaking. I love teaching. I love coaching. I love mentoring. I love writing. As I just said, it took me 5 years to figure out how to take all of that stuff and make money at it. Now, of course, I teach people how to do that, so it doesn't have to take you 5 years. We've helped people go from literally 0 to 6 figures in 4 months. So
I love it. And again, I want to remind people, like some people might go, well, I don't know what questions to ask. He has them all in the book, and they will inspire you. Like, why is my career growing beyond my wildest dreams? Why do I love what I do and do what I love? The questions are there that help guide you, and that's what happened with me. I started reading those and going, oh, that one's really spoke to me. Like, there will be at least one question that rings true for you, sometimes more than any of the other ones.
And also, Jenny, what people love to do is just take the book and open it at random in the morning, and kind of like people do with the Bible, you open and you pick a Bible verse just literally at random. And so people like to do that with the book of Afformations. They just open the book at random and, just put your finger down, and that's my affirmation of the day. Why am I enough? Why am I so rich? Why am I doing what I love and love what I do, and so forth? And you just use that and play with it, and your brain starts to come up with better answers as you start to ask better questions.
It's also really good for those married couples out there that climb into bed just to have the TV off and even talk about those questions or ask your mate those questions. Sometimes you run out of stuff to say or talk about. This is a wonderful door into really going to another level with your mate.
No question about it. And we've had many, many couples. I may have shared this story last time I was on the show, but just real quick, we had a guy wrote to me from Germany, Michael, and he said, no, your book saved my marriage because we had the papers, the divorce papers were on the desk ready to be signed. We were about to get a divorce. And for some reason, I had your book there on the desk with me, and I just, at the very last second, I decided to share it with my wife. We started Afforming, and we decided to tear up the divorce papers, and now they're happily married again. And I mean, wow, you can't get any closer than you're about to sign the divorce papers. And so talk about saving it from the jaws of defeat. I just love stories like that.
Of course. What a gift you've given. Noah St. John, thank you so much for enlightening us and reminding us how important this is. The Book of Afformations, discovering the missing piece to abundant health, wealth, love, and happiness. You'll only live once, you guys, unless you believe in reincarnation. Get the book. Make this life a good one. Thank you so much, Noah.
You bet, Jenny.
Have a great day, hon.
All right, you too. Look forward to talking to you again.
Me too.